Hey, TJ, good to see you.
Emily, thank you so much for having me. Excited to speak to you a little bit about No H2O today.
Oh my gosh, this is such a unique concept. And we just had the launch call with FranNet consultants like myself. Was that yes? That was yesterday.
Yeah, just
Uh,
yesterday. I know time flies.
and I was so excited. So I emailed you probably before the launch call ended and said, hey, can we have a quick one-on-one? So I hear people talk about a categorical disruptor and wow, just tell us about No H2O.
That is this brand in a nutshell. It is disrupting the car wash industry in several different ways. So the first thing about this brand that I really want people to think about when they hear No H2O is that buzzword Uber, that Uber lifestyle. I mean, we're all trying to achieve that, but like, what does that really mean when you hear that? And it means to me, just what Uber did. They took the cell phone and they brought rideshare to the masses. They brought car ride sharing to you. And that's what No H2O is doing, is they're bringing the car wash to the consumer. We're doing that through either already being at the shopping centers, their work environment, the airport, and these pop-ups that we can talk about. In addition to that, we also have the Uber mobile app that they're developing themselves, where you can order the car wash and they'll come right to you anywhere you are, GPS locate and all that fun stuff. But the key to it is it's that convenience factor. That's what this is going to. So unlike brick and mortar car washes right now, where you got to go to them, they're in their location, you got to wait in line and do all that. Now you can fit a car wash into your lifestyle. And that's really how this brand is disrupting the industry. And they're doing that through the No H2O process, through the ability to provide a car wash without any water whatsoever. So we don't need a hose hookup, we don't need buckets, we don't need drainage. So it's that vehicle of the waterless process that allows us to provide this uber convenience of bringing car washes to anybody, anywhere. And that's just such a different approach to the car wash space that we've just never seen before.
It is. And even so I downloaded the app.
Awesome.
And I encourage anybody watching to check out the No H2O app. So I checked
right
that
on the
out.
App Store. Yep.
Now I'm going to be really candid. This is waterless car washing. How clean do the cars really get?
So what I relate it to is just like the local hand detailing car wash that you have. Every city has a few of these where the guys are out there, they're hand polishing and washing all the cars. That's what our guys are doing. That's where we live. It's really related to the low end detailing, car detailing. That's what this brand equates to. So you don't want to think about the car wash attached to your gas station, or even sometimes the big, machine car washes and all that. You really want to think about like those hand detailing places. And that's the level of clean, because we're spraying on the product. It is absorbing the dirt, pulling it away from the surface. So all we have to do is wipe it clean, but the guys are hand wiping it right there on the car. There's not a machine doing it that can miss spots and areas. It is human eyes, human hands right there, making sure that every inch of that car is clean, polished, buff, shining and looking beautiful. And they do it in about 15 to 20 minutes, just like a regular hand car wash does. So that's really what you get, is that detail level of cleaning, because it's human beings doing it in person by hand.
Thanks. You got me speechless for a second. So, well, it's because I have my own experiences having to go through the car wash again, because I'm like, you missed all this dirt. And I drove all the way over here and I waited in line. So can we at least get it clean?
Machines do so many things better than humans, but the one thing I think if you've experienced it, they don't wash cars as well. They miss spots. There's wax buildup. There's bugs still on the windshield. I mean, you need that human eye to really get in there and scrub and see what needs to be done. And that's what our guys are doing.
So tell me about the investment level, because this is so different than a typical car wash.
Yeah. So a typical car wash, I mean, in the franchising space, we only have a few of them, but they're typically $3.5 to almost $7 million in investment. And I mean, the big part of it is lease space, build out. I mean, all that big equipment, everything you need, even down to as much as small as a cash register that you have to have at a regular car wash. And we avoid all of that. And so that's really why the investment level is so small. For a single territory, we're about 134,000, but most people are probably going to buy multiple territories. And we can certainly explain that as people come into the process and what that looks like. But really what you have is each individual pop-up, or what we call pop-up or static location, as you grow in scale. So that's a shopping center. We're going to put this big tent. We're going to have all the equipment. We're going to be running cars in and out of there, set up a lot of times near like charging stations for electric vehicles and all that. one of those locations, about 10 to 15K to start up. So you can start up 3 or 4 of these for the price of one vehicle. And I'm a franchisee in another system. It's a mosquito service, home-based mosquito services. So every time we grow and scale, we add a new van and a new technician. Well, that van cost me about 40K. So I can do 3 or 4 of these car washes for that amount, and it's basically front-end investment. And then once it's operational, my only expense is really labor. And so this is just, it is service level scalability in a industry that all your competition is brick and mortar, and it's just unmatched.
All right, I've got 2 more topics, and I want to keep this short. You did, so I would love to see if you can show any visuals. The branding is fantastic. And then you mentioned pop-ups. And so looking at that, I saw a pop-up of like a tent that you just mentioned. If you're able to pull that up, that would be great. Oh, look at you.
I still muted myself, but yeah, so here, let me go to the pop-up here as we go and let everybody get a good visual. So here is what a pop-up looks like. So you guys, the big tent right there.
Yeah,
so
there it is.
we have a little battery-powered blower. You just, hook it together, hit a button. This is going to pop up in a matter of a couple minutes. It's the shaded area where we can put the cars under. But really where this is where the guys set up shop with like the rags and the products and all that. And in the video that you'd see from us, we have all the charging stations lined up right next to us. And while the cars are being charged, the guys just walk around, go to the car, start spraying it, start wiping it, and they start cleaning right there. So we can set these up in any parking lot, anywhere. We need about 2 or 3 parking spaces for the tent. And then you probably need, 5 to 10 spaces for the cars that you're going to be rotating in and out as you're washing them.
Okay. So pop-ups, I heard you mention airports earlier. How great would that when I'm coming home from a trip and I can come back to a clean car to drive home in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And every airport now across the country has a setup of the charging stations. You keep hearing me mention that because it's a layup for us, because you already have to sit there and let the car be charged, and you can't wash a car with water while it's being charged, but we can with no H20. So again, you would set up next to those charging stations at an airport. You'd set up at their main, parking area where people could sign up. And the beauty is everyone signs up on the app. So all they basically do is just say, hey, here's my car, here's my license plate, here's where I parked, I'm going to ping it. And I mean, we could wash it, tomorrow for them if they're going to be gone for a week. So there's just so much that we can do with this mobile app that we have to just make that really, really easy. Corporate locations are great too, big business parks. Apple, we have a national account with Apple. They're big corporate locations, not the retail stores, but they're big corporate locations where their employees work. We have a contract with them. So that's kind of what we're growing into right now.
Okay. So I have a hot button question to ask you. A lot of people are concerned about labor right now. Tell me about the labor model here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the good thing is that the labor is really going to grow alongside you as the franchisee. So basically, our franchise owner, Darren, sets up right now. He has what he is calling, which will be kind of a general manager or more like an area manager underneath him at his first location. Now, he's already grown to 3 and 5 of these here pretty quickly. So he's taken that guy and he's going to put him in charge of, eventually 10 to 15 of these locations. And underneath him, he'll have a head detailer at each one of the spots. So our franchisee is managing, as he gets to 50 or 60 of these 4 or 5 guys that are then each managing 10 or 15 of these locations. So you kind of can build that structure. Now, as you talk about the labor of washing the cars, that is one of my favorite things, especially in this environment where labor is tight. Who doesn't know how to wash a car? Who's never picked up a rag and wiped down a car? It's pretty simple to do. And the beauty of this is we can train people so quickly. So you could even go to like a temporary staffing agency and just say, hey, if I call you and I'm out a guy, I need you to send me somebody. We're going to put the guy right on hood. We're going to teach him how to spray the product. We're going to teach him how to wipe. And we're going to say, dude, you man hoods today. You just knock out 30 hoods today. That's all we need you to do. We're going to do the rest of the car. I mean, it could be that simple. And then again, if you have an hour to train the guy, you can teach him how to do wheels. You can teach him how to do this. It's not rocket science at the end of the day. So this is great over the summer, high school kids, college kids. I mean, you're gonna be able to get labor going. The good thing here is we do pay, good hourly minimum wage, but the guys are making huge money on tips. Car detailing. You think if you're already spending $100 to get your car clean, how big is that tip going to be? These guys are doing 20 cars a day. I mean, they're making pretty good money off of the tips, and that is good money that anybody wants to make tax-free and all that good stuff. So that's really the big draw with these guys is tips.
Nice. Excellent. I said I had 2 questions, but I just thought of a third, and this is going to be the last one.
No,
But this has a unique track record in terms of where it was established and its present here in the US. So talk me through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So although No H2O is newer into the US, we have 4 franchisees right now. West Los Angeles is the most up and going. They're about 5-6 months into operation. Dallas is just kicking off. Puerto Rico's about to get going. But we have already been established for over 15 years in Dublin, Ireland. So that is where our founder, Emmett, is from. He is a former European professional racer on their champion circuit, discovered the product, bought it, and said, this is amazing. I want to own this company, and bought the product from someone who had developed it and then turned it into a business. So they've already been franchising and licensing. The pictures you saw were from the Dublin airport, from the Apple corporate location over there in Dublin. So we already have all that experience. And just now, Emmett moved to the US about 2 years ago, started working on franchising here, and has partnered with Fastlane to help grow this to, hopefully 50, 100 franchisees pretty quickly.
That's awesome. And Fastlane, you guys have been behind some of the really big brands in development for years. So congratulations.
Awesome.
Thank you for carving out some time for this one-on-one chat. I'll definitely be sharing this with interested parties. And in a nutshell, so it sounds like we're looking for somebody who is comfortable as an early adopter, where scalability is really important. Does that sound about
Absolutely.
right?
Yep. Early adopter, scalability, someone who can network the business. I mean, we're looking for someone to do the B2B sales, open up those property developers and shopping centers and those things. We do have a national procurement team that comes in and helps close the deal, locks all that stuff down with them. So there's just a lot of support. But, the good thing is when they get on the phone with our franchisee, Darren, he's working 3 hours, 4 hours a day in the business right now. It's not a huge time consumer for him because he doesn't work the car washes. He works his business development. He makes sure the guys are in place in the morning, and then they're off and running, and he can kind of do his own thing. So it's a great business to start. If you're already doing something else, you can put 10, 15 hours a week into this to build the first couple locations, and then it's going to take off for you.
That's awesome. Thank you again, TJ. Appreciate your time. I've taken enough of it. Have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Emily. I appreciate you having me.
You got it. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.